Good morning, everybody. It is
Good morning.
11 a.m., so I'm going to go ahead and kick this over to Susie and Sharon to kick us off.
Well,
You're up, Sharon.
thank you, Susie. Good morning, good afternoon from wherever you happen to be joining us today. Cortland Consulting is a proud sponsor of the 2021 WCSIC-ARICSA Mini IJ Fair. Today, I have the honor to welcome you. First, let me begin with gratitude for the many planners and contributors to this valuable learning event. And next, I want to applaud every child support colleague for the noble work that you do. May your dedication and valiant efforts to learn and connect improve your lives and the lives of the families and children that you serve. Many of you may already know me. I'm Sharon Pizzuti. You may also know Stephen Trudell, our CEO and founder, from past in-person conferences. We are both looking forward to the day when we can see each other in person again, but for now, it's great to see you all online from home. Today, Cortland continues to focus our work to benefit child support programs across the United States. We partner and support many child support design and development vendors to provide state and local child support programs with implementation, training, user support, and rollout of new or upgraded statewide child support systems. Many of you online are joining us from places where we've already provided these services, including but not limited to New Jersey, Delaware, Michigan, South Carolina, Nevada. Cortland embraces the spirit of volunteerism. We're honored to volunteer and provide web services to nonprofit organizations such as WCSIC and ARICSA, who gave you this IJ Fair today, NTCSA and NTCSDA, and I'm currently volunteering as a director for the ARICSA and NCA boards. I want to thank you for your time, and now I'm especially honored to introduce you to your IJ Fair co-chair, Susie Trubey from the Clark County DA office in Nevada, who will lead everyone to a whole new world through this first of 3 mini IJ fairs. Take it away, Susie.
Thank you so much, Sharon. And of course, thank you to Cortland Consulting. We appreciate you guys so much. As Sharon said, I'm Susie Trubey. I am the co-chair of the WCSIC-ARICSA IJ Fair, along with Sabrina Montoya and Tammy Pearson. We want you guys to sit back and enjoy our presentations today. Make sure that you use that Zoom chat feature to greet and support our ambassadors. Chat in your questions. Based on time, we may not have time to answer all of those questions, but we will save them and reach out to you afterwards and try to answer any questions that you may have. There's, close to 500 people on the line right now. So monitoring that chat is going to be a big job. And so give it up, please, for Abe Mendoza and Veronica Pignon, who are going to be handling that for us today. Good luck, you guys. That's a lot of people. I want to let you guys know that we are honored to work with, WCSIC is honored to work with ARICSA on this to bring best practices to everyone. We all know that we share our best practices because we want to do the greater good for the children and the families. And with that, I will pass it off to our ARICSA co-chair, Tammy Pearson. Give it up for Tammy.
Thanks, Susie. So good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're from. I'm Tammy Pearson, and I oversee our operations for Young Williams in our North Carolina office. I am a co-chair this year with ARICSA with Diane Potts, and I hope Diane's on the line, and we just wanted to thank you for attending. We're excited to work with WCSIC again this year. I did want to remind everybody about our 58th annual ARICSA conference. We're going on a virtual road trip starting Monday, May 24 through Wednesday, May 26. And you can register at aricsA.org. And once you register, you will be signed up for our intergovernmental training event. And that'll take place on Wednesday, August 25th from 10:30 to 4 Eastern time. We will have a total of 6 workshops that day, and we wanted to offer some different training since we have so much good trainers and things to talk about in the intergovernmental part. With that, I just wanted to remind everybody, like Susie did, use the chat feature. And one thing I'd like to know is this your first IJ Fair, whether virtual or in person? So just let us know in the chat feature. So I'll turn it back to Susie or Sabrina. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sabrina Montoya. I'm from Colorado, and I'm so happy to be here with all of you today. There will be trivia at the end of all the presentations, so make sure you're listening, make sure you're not multitasking, turn off those emails, because you're going to want to see who knows the most at the end of all these presentations. So pay attention, state facts are coming with all these presentations. Have a great first IJ Fair, and we can't wait to see all the great presentations coming today. Thank you for having us.
All right, first up is Florida.
Hi, this is Melanie from Florida. I'm Melanie Hutchinson, and I'm the Interstate Business Process Owner. And I wanted to talk a little bit about communication. That's our best practice for Florida and what we're striving towards at this time. So in Florida, we will discuss the steps that Florida has taken and is continuing to take to improve communication with our partners, our customers, and our employees. We have been continuously reviewing communication avenues with our partners, including how to improve our intergovernmental communication. Florida has a very automated system which moves forward and makes its own case determinations. It sends notices, maintains timeframes, and tasks employees when action is required. With this in mind, our system is designed to make automatic updates. So we've been taking a look at how we can enhance our interfaces to send out better information and receive better information. In regards to that, we have been implementing changes to our SESNet transactions for clarifying inbound transactions that need employee attention and better providing information that we are sending out. We're continuing to look at our case status information inquiries to do a broader search to provide a greater response rate as well. We've implemented additional enhancements to our systems for intergovernmental forms. Part of those enhancements is that the system will auto-populate the team member's name and direct phone number onto the form. So when they go to generate the form, then their name and phone number auto-populate. Now, keep in mind, right now, a lot of team members are working from home, so they have been providing the 1-850 contact number for our customer contact center. We can provide that number as well, but they're not as their desk to answer the phone, so sometimes this is the best way to get a hold of us. Another enhancement that we have been working towards is ensuring that we're sending the confidential information when we're sending requests to other states. A lot of times when we're communicating with the other state, we're not giving them enough information to be able to find what they need, or in those requests for assistance, if we don't give them the personal information of the parties, it's only the transmittal 3 with the name, they're not going to be able to find that birth record or court order that we're asking for. So we've been trying to train our employees to send that confidential information form with it. Also, for communication purposes, we have been upgrading our system to allow customers to e-scan the documents. This provides a much faster response rate for our customers and our team members to be able to get things over to the courts or where we need them to go. And finally, Florida has current legislation, a bill in front of the Senate and the House that will allow for unsecure email. So as long as the information does not contain a social security number, driver's license number, bank number, we're going to move forward and we'll be able to send unsecure emails instead of doing that link where you have to open and move forward from there. So in conclusion, we're continuing to review how we can better communicate with our partners, our employees, other states. So Florida will continue to review, and if you have suggestions, please send them to me.
Awesome. Thank you, Melanie. Appreciate the update there. And next on our list, we have California. Go ahead.
Thank you, Abe. Hello, my name is Amrit Singh. I am a child support supervisor at San Mateo County Department of Child Support Services in California. County of San Mateo is one of the Bay Area counties and is located between the city of San Francisco and Santa Clara County, Silicon Valley. San Mateo County is known for its parks and beaches, as there are 12 state beaches and 10 state parks. A fun fact about San Mateo County, as you can see on the slide, is a movie, Mrs. Doubtfire filmed its custody court scenes in the San Mateo County Court. Mrs. Doubtfire is one of my favorite movies, as I am a Robin Williams fan. Movie was based in San Francisco, but the court scenes were filmed in San Mateo County courtroom. Another fun fact for all you football fans. Tom Brady was born and raised in San Mateo County. He is one of the greatest football players of all time, and he just won his 7th Super Bowl, just in case people didn't know. Last fun fact for all Facebook users, the corporate office of Facebook is located within San Mateo County. Not everyone knows this also, so thought to share. San Mateo County is not only a great place to visit, but also a great child support agency with fun and hardworking staff, like me. I welcome you all to visit San Mateo County at some point when the time is right for all to travel. Next slide, please. Now let me share some of our best practices within our agencies. As you may be aware, due to the pandemic, working remotely was an adjustment for many of us. During the pandemic, our county expanded our e-filing process to include additional filings, such as customers' income and expense declarations, proof of services, court motions, stipulations, and statement of registrations. Currently, we are e-filing approximately 80% of court documents. The ability to e-file expedited our process and allowed the cases to move forward. Our goal is to e-file all court documents. Another best practice was to implement the use of DocuSign for our customers to assist in expediting the stipulation process. Prior to DocuSign, the caseworker will mail the stipulation to the parties for their signatures, and upon return, we would file the original document with the court. With DocuSign, customers electronically sign the stipulations and we e-file with the court, which dramatically improved the timeframes for the stipulations. We also provided text capabilities to approximately 15 users in our office to communicate with our customers. Workers utilize TextPage Pro to remind customers about payments, intake appointments, and court hearings. Finally, another best practice is the implementation of Microsoft Teams. Staff can schedule virtual appointments with customers. This allows us to virtually meet our customers and assist them with their intake process and for meet and confer process as well. These best practices mentioned assisted us during the pandemic time. We electronically filing, DocuSign, texting, and virtual appointments, our office was able to continue to exceed excellent customer service and continue to meet our goals. Thank you.
Thank you, Amrit. And next up, we have Wisconsin.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jenna Skenendor. I'm the financial specialist and intergovernmental case manager for Oneida Nation Child Support Agency, which is located in the state of Wisconsin. The state of Wisconsin has 11 federally recognized tribes. 9 of those tribes have child support agencies. And I believe there are 60 tribal child support agencies total nationwide. My best practice advice when working with tribal agencies is communication, which basically what I mean is contacting the tribal agency directly, either phone or email, to ensure that you have the correct information on how to initiate an intergovernmental case with them, if that's what you're trying to do. And so I'm using my tribe as an example that might kind of help you understand more of what I mean. So we have 3 different kind of ways to register for an order. One for income withholding, one for per capita intercept, and then one for enforcement. So if the payer works for Oneida Nation, our agency needs a certified copy of the current child support order along with the income withholding order. What we'll do is verify that the payer works for Oneida Nation. We send a notice to the payer, and then we will register the income withholding order with Oneida Family Court. We do send a notice to the payer, and they have 10 days to contest it, which usually doesn't happen. After that 10 days has expired, we register it with our court and then send the income withholding over to payroll. If for some reason the payer quits or something happens and they're no longer working with Oneida Nation, but then are hired back, you don't need to do the process all over again, but we would need a new income withholding order to send over to payroll. Another way that you would register a court order with us is if you are another county or state or another tribe that's interested in intercepting an Oneida per capita payment. So the way that our per capita payments work is we have a payout one time a year. It's usually roughly around $1,000. It varies based on something that we vote on. But in order to intercept it, what we need is a certified copy of the current child support order, a certified statement of arrears, and then a letter asking to intercept per capita, which includes the payer's information, name, date of birth, social security number, case number. And we need to receive that by June 30th of each year in order to get it registered and intercept on behalf of your state or county. That's a one-time thing. After that, every year afterwards, you do need to send us paperwork, but we only need the statement of arrears and then the letter asking for it. And the way that our per capita intercept works is it can be intercepted, but it has to be applied to only arrears. So it can be any kind of arrears. It can be custodial arrears, state owed arrears, foster care, kinship care, but it needs to be arrears. We can't intercept for a current support order. And then the final way that you would register with our tribe is if it's a order for enforcement. And that we operate just like the state of Wisconsin. We use the UFSA process. You would do everything that you do with another county or state. And then once that order is registered with our court, we would handle the per capita intercept process. If the payer has arrears or if the payer works for the tribe, we would take care of all of that. You wouldn't need to separately do the other 2 processes. So that's kind of my breakdown as far as our tribe works. And that's why I would just encourage you when operating with any tribal child support agency, everybody is different. Everybody has different laws and rules on how you could handle an intergovernmental case with them. Not all tribes have per capita. But yeah, that's kind of my lowdown on that. So.
Awesome, Jenna. Thank you for that information. And quick question,
Yeah.
Are you part of the electronic document exchange?
We are not.
You're not? Okay.
Nope.
All right. All right. Perfect. I think that was the only question that we had. So next we'll go on to North Dakota.
Hi, everyone. I'm Pam with the North Dakota Outgoing Interstate Office, and our best practices to share today are regarding communication and the services that we provide to our customers. Our office works with only outgoing interstate cases, and the challenge that we have is with our customers thoroughly completing and returning the necessary documents needed for our intergovernmental cases. We know that by having good communication, whether it's written and verbal, or as well as providing tools to our customers that they can use, it helps our cases to not only run efficiently, but also to be processed in a timely manner. When we request documents to be filled out by a customer, whether it's a general testimony or a declaration of establishing parentage, We include a detailed cover letter that explains what is needed of them and also why we're requesting the information. We also provide our phone number so they may reach out to us with any questions. And if needed, we will set up a time to walk through the forms with them on the phone. The forms and the terms, as we all know, can be very overwhelming. So when speaking with the customer, we try to simplify the terms and the documents for them, making it easier for them to understand. Once the documents are sent, we set an alert or a tickler, as some call it, to check for their return in 15 days. If they're not returned, we will reach out by phone to remind them to return the documents. And if we have an email address, we will also send a reminder to their email. We also provide our state website address on the cover, which is on this slide. Our state has enhanced the outgoing intergovernmental section on our child support website, and this has been very helpful for our customers. Under that outgoing intergovernmental case screen, they will find an outline that shows the progression of an outgoing intergovernmental case, as well as 2 tutorials. One tutorial describes what is considered an outgoing intergovernmental case, and the other tutorial is a guide for completing their forms. There are also sample forms for both the general testimony and the declaration of establishing parentage that walks them through page by page how to fill those forms out. They can also access blank fillable forms for both of the documents, and they will find frequently asked questions. The enhancements on the website have been a great source of information for our customers because everything they need is on one place. This has also helped us to lower the number of incomplete forms we would normally receive back. Check out our website if you guys get a chance. And also earlier this month, we were very excited to be able to add the text message reminder option. So now a text message reminder can be sent to a customer at the request of a team member. So we are very excited to have both the text messaging reminder and the website as available tools for our customers to use and for us. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Pam. That was great information, and I really like the idea of sending text messages. Next up, we have Connecticut.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeff Mubarak. I'm a supervisor with Connecticut Support Enforcement Services. Connecticut's a little bit different in some regards because we have a judicial aspect of our child support program in addition to our main office, which is our 4D agency under the Department of Social Services. So they're responsible for setting up initial cases, and then it kicks over to us at judicial, where we do all the enforcement, court-based, administrative, et cetera. Connecticut is known for many things. As you can see below, one thing that I found interesting was that drivers were not allowed to travel faster than 12 miles an hour. So for those of you who have had the pleasure of visiting Connecticut, the law has changed. Certainly for Interstate 84, 91, and 95, the minimum speed limit is like 85 miles an hour. And it is absolutely crazy here. People drive very, very fast. It's adjacent to New York State, so we get a lot of traffic on our major highways. First and foremost, I do want to say a special hello to people that I recognized on the call, specifically Melanie Hutchinson and Elaine Coleman and John Zarnowski, people that I have worked extensively with over the years on intergovernmental cases, and it's finally, nice to see a face with a voice and associate that. So nice to see you guys. I've had the pleasure of working with some of you for many years, and Support Enforcement in Connecticut currently has 13 offices. 13 field offices, where I am a supervisor for iGov services, training and support. My focus is primarily on Connecticut initiating cases, as well as external 4D customer support for other states and tribal nations, and et cetera. I was assigned to this role back in 2017 after almost 35 years supervising a field office in Fairfield County, Connecticut, our third largest office in the state. So having been a soup for as many years as I was, I knew all too well the frustration and difficulty that interstate cases presented to staff and clients alike. My goal when I came to admin was to work as a team to dissect the issues and develop an action plan intended to improve the quality, quantity, and efficiency of intergovernmental casework. So as a baseline, I kind of dove into the regulations first. I love statutes, I love laws, I love regulations. That's kind of my thing. Specifically, of course, 3037, and absorb the general responsibilities as well as the responsibilities as the initiating and responding jurisdictions. I've read UWIFSA 2008 from cover to cover probably 10 times and learned how that Model Act and the regs are actually intertwined and connected. One of the regs among all the regs has stood out in my mind, 307A5, and that is very simply transmit requests and provide requested information electronically to the greatest extent possible. And that's what we began to focus on to improve the efficiency. During that time, I really became much more familiar with the state services portal applications, and my all-time favorite, of course, being Quick, which in many instances provides immediate caseworker contact information for immediate direct access to all assigned caseworkers in particular states. Unfortunately, Connecticut does not provide that data yet, but my understanding is we are working at it, as well as begin participation in EDE. So throughout this journey, and it has certainly been a journey, as most of you know, because it's a very specialized work, I began to develop really solid contacts in many states and began to build what I call an intergovernmental network of iGov caseworkers, field supervisors, and administrators across the country. So as emails were shared and we had conversations back and forth, I would simply cut and paste that information into Outlook, and by county and by state. And over the past years, I looked at it the other day, I've acquired about 260 professionals across the country, including wonderful contacts in Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. So during this time, Connecticut is opening its first intergovernmental office in Hartford, which is the capital city here in Connecticut. Additionally, SES recently appointed 3 iGov, what we call specialists, in 3 of our largest offices in Connecticut. And at a very high level, Connecticut developed a 96-page PowerPoint presentation to properly train and prepare our new specialists for this important role. Training included extensive focus on the proper use of all iGov policies, procedures, federal regs, locate informational resources with special attention paid to the use of the state services portal and SESNet to expedite intergovernmental information sharing, balance reconciliation, and general case management. As a result, specialists now handle all intergovernmental cases in their respective offices, both initiating and responding. I do most of the training for intergov cases here, and I train predicated on, I said earlier, my personal experience and journey. Bottom line is effective and efficient intergovernmental work is based first and foremost on a solid foundation and understanding of the regulations and UWIFSA 2008. And in tandem, you have to have solid contacts or that network, as I referred to earlier, of child support professionals in other states who are responsive and share that same level of passion and knowledge and understanding of casework. Our focus and vision is to receive and provide information to our 4D colleagues across the country in an expedited manner electronically to the greatest extent possible. A simple phone call, an email, a SESNet transaction, all being used in unison with the traditional Trans 2. This focus has really changed the landscape of SES intergovernmental casework here in Connecticut. Information that historically has taken months, as we all know, to receive or confirm new information is now received in many instances within days, if not the same day. As a result, interestingly enough, our iGov collections in Connecticut has increased 5 consecutive years in a row as a result of the increased activity. We are currently in the process of expanding our functions associated with our central registry here in Connecticut. And finally, Connecticut is currently evaluating and exploring possibility of centralizing additional iGov functions designed to further improve and enhance services for our entire caseload. So stay tuned on that exciting endeavor. We're actually working on it as we speak. I'll have to say in closing, the largest impact that this has had on me personally is that I typically conclude conversations or emails with something like, should you ever need any assistance in Connecticut, please feel free to reach out to me directly. As the old saying goes, be careful what you ask for, because I am busier now than ever. My email box just gets lit up all the time. And then people that I've never even spoke with have been referred by their colleagues for assistance in Connecticut. And it's been a wonderful experience. So busier now than ever, but it's all good stuff. I'll be adding all of you to my contact list or network over the next few days. So heads up. And I do look forward to the opportunity to work with all of you in the very near future. Thanks and good luck to all of you.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeff. We did get a couple questions asking if you would share your list, your contact list with us. So we can, I'll let you respond to that offline. Thanks for reading UIFSA though. I appreciate it. And thanks for Connecticut for establishing the speed limit laws, which has resulted in hundreds of dollars of fines on my end. All right. So next we'll move on to Montana. Here you go.
Good morning. Hello, can we see me?
Yes, we can see and hear you.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Tanya, and I'm a representative from the newly founded Central Montana unit in Montana. We call ourselves the CMU unit. I'm proud to work for the state that I was raised in, growing up in small town Livingston, Montana in Paradise Valley. You can see that our fun fact is in 1932, Montana became the home of the first ever International Peace Park. Montana's Glacier National Park combined areas with Alberta, Canada's Waterton Lakes National Park. Due to the rich, diverse plant and wildlife species and magnificent scenery of the park, UNESCO listed them as a joint World Heritage Site in 1995. The Waterton Glacier International Peace Park was created to commemorate the peace and goodwill between the United States and our neighbors to the north in Canada. At the time in 1932, this was the first and only international peace park in the world. So we're pretty proud of that. The Central Mail Unit was created because it's a time to rethink where and how work will get done. What to do with the office is a focal point of a much larger discussion. The success of remote work has reimagined how work gets done, as well as where the work takes place. In a world where we had to send all of our caseworkers home to work due to a pandemic, yet they are still working with paper documents coming in and going out from obligors, obligees, the office of the law judge, etc., there needed to be an extension of the caseworker created. As a result, and by design, CSSD headed toward a hybrid workplace where caseworkers were able to work from home while being backed up by the office employees, providing support and the necessary tools required for them to effectively and efficiently continue to provide their services and bring in the support for the children. The hybrid teammate became the Central Mail Unit for Montana. While working under an already stretched budget and an existing legacy system, the managers put their heads together and created this unit in Helena that has become the hub for all incoming mail for all the regions of our state. During the unit planning, it was determined that caseworkers spent on average 2 hours per day per caseworker, receiving, opening, and basically handling their daily mail. We have over our state 77 at this time caseworkers. That worked out to be 154 hours approximately per day of caseworker mail handling. Those hours have now been given back to the caseworker to do what they do best by us taking back that time. So the goal was to find a way to give this time back to the caseworkers to be investigators, to be able to do what they do best, to bring the support in for the children. In the push to go paperless in our goal to onboard a document management system, a DMS system, the central mail unit went live just last December, in December of 2020. And as of this date, the maximum processing turnaround time allowed by policy is 48 hours. This unit has yet to exceed single day processing for all the mail received for the entire state. So that's a kudos. Each piece of incoming mail is opened, date stamped, sorted by region, and then scanned to the electronic folder for each corresponding caseworker in that region by one of the 4 CMU members. This means that the CMU member is also receiving each document, viewing the document, and determining if it will be kept for the official file in the home region, forwarded, deadheaded to the respective region files, shredded according to policy. Requests for reviews are imaged into newly created and named folders for the mod workers in each region. Return mail with post office address changes are noted in the system for the caseworker, as well as imaged documents scanned to their folders for references. Hearing requests are faxed directly to the AOLJ, scanned to the caseworkers, and sent directly to the Office of the Law Judge. And then any other specifics according to policy based on the documents, etc. I mean, you get my understanding. Each document is reviewed and according to policy handled separately per document. So it's not one and done. Every document is handled individually and treated separately by this unit every single day, every single document. The first project, in addition to the mail, was filing and imaging the paternity acknowledgement documents. This unit imaged approximately 90,000 paternity acknowledgement documents dating from 1997 to 2020 in about 4 weeks of scanning time. And this was done after processing and scanning daily mail with only 3 active CMU members. This is amazing. Each year has been imaged, saved as a searchable document, and made available to all the regions, and is being kept current daily with each new paternity acknowledgement received. That is mind-blowing for people who have had to go and search a physical file for a document. Every day we get new documents. They are all scanned in and updated. Now the caseworker needs to pull the particular year, search for the file, and it can be printed for the original file, rather than a live person request being submitted. If a state or some other agency requests that, the same process can be done through us. Numerous man hours are being saved for that. We are still working through getting our mainframe project completed while we are working to get off of our mainframe and into our current print to mail project completed. While the bugs are being worked through both of those projects, the CMU unit is also assisting after they have completed their daily mail with the printing of the caseworker outgoing mail, putting it in the envelopes and sending those documents out for the caseworkers. That also frees up the caseworkers and the investigator supervisors so that they can do what they do best as well. And this then devotes their time back to the children. Another reason to partner with the caseworkers for this unit. As COVID-19 has taught us that working from the office does not equal productivity. With the right tools and support, People can work from anywhere. Flexibility in where, when, and how people work is the new normal. For many, the COVID crisis has forced them to work from home without the tools, technologies, training, and resources they need to be successful. Our goal in the Central Mail Unit is to partner with the caseworker to make sure the children get all the support. So we have hopefully worked with that transition and helped with that goal. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya. And next up, we have Montana again talking about their social media campaign.
Hi, good morning from Butte, Montana. My name is Catherine Edmiston. I'm an investigator supervisor with the State of Montana Child Support Services Division. I'm joining the presentation from one of Montana's 5 regional child support offices. The best practices topic that I want to talk to you about is the implementation of the Montana social media campaign. In 2019, a group of us from Montana Child Support attended WCSEC in Spokane, Washington. One of the breakout sessions that really resonated with us was the presentation on the use of social media by Judith, the social media specialist at LA County Child Support Services. We were truly inspired by Judith's presentation and wanted to use our new knowledge to create a social media presence in order to engage and educate Montana citizens. Upon our return to Montana, we worked to create relevant content and start a social media committee. We created Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter accounts and conducted an initial rollout of the new social media campaign in August of 2020 in coordination with Child Support Awareness Month. The social media committee meets monthly to discuss potential topics and to review proposed content. We create both static content and videos. To create content, we use applications such as Powtoon, Canva, Mematic, SquareFit, iMovie, and Unsplash. We typically post 1 time per week. Some topics that we posted about are CSSD's new online application, details about paternity, establishment, enforcement, and modifications, local or office locations and contact info, office closures, and we've even posted job listings on our social media accounts. In our posts, we consistently add our 1-800 number, our logo, and a link to our website. We also add hashtag support406 to each post in order to create a brand. We have had significant results from the social media campaign and have been able to obtain some really interesting analytics which give detailed information about how many people have looked at our posts, reacted to or shared the posts, and how many people have been driven to our website. On Twitter, in the past 30 days alone, we tweeted 4 times, and these 4 tweets resulted in 91 profile visits and 695 impressions. An impression is the total number of times a post has been seen. We have had thousands of Twitter impressions since the initiation of our social media campaign. On Facebook in the past 30 days, our posts have reached 322 people. One great thing about Facebook analytics is that you can add pages of other agencies, in-state or out-of-state, to see how your numbers stack up against theirs. On Instagram in the past 30 days, our posts made 212 impressions. Instagram offers detailed analytics and even indicates the top 5 cities where the highest percentage of people were reached. Instagram analytics reflected that 55% of people we reached were in the age group of 25 to 44, which is our target demographic. Finally, of our Instagram impressions, 87% were women and 13% were men. The ability to look at this type of detailed information can be very useful in determining if your efforts are successful and in using targeted paid ads on any of the platforms. It should be noted that Montana has created and implemented a successful social media campaign with only 3 committee members and without any sort of paid advertising. We have been able to efficiently reach and engage Montana citizens on a consistent basis without great expenditures. As we move into a very different future, we feel confident that having social media presence is important for Montana Child Support Services Division. We are grateful for the knowledge we acquired from attending the 2019 WCSEC conference. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Catherine. We do have a couple questions in the chat, but due to time, we will save those questions and get back to the group at a later date. So next on the list here is Illinois. Take it away.
Hi, hello, this is Irene Curran. I'm Deputy Administrator for Field and Intergovernmental intergovernmental unit for the state of Illinois. I wanted to talk to you. My best practice today is I thought I would share with you our vision and how we're using the vision to engage the staff, and that way the staff would and then result in better customer service. Can you show the next slide, please? Okay, so our mission is we work together to help Illinoisans assess high quality healthcare and fulfill child support obligations to advance their physical, mental, and financial well-being. Our vision is we improve lives. We started this as an agency base. We included all of our staff. Everybody put their viewpoint in. Everybody was part of this. This way, everybody was part of the plan. So we reimagined our mission, our visions, values, and we had town halls, feedback tools. We were, like it says in my thing, we were a new sense of purpose and identity. Next slide, please. So what did we do? So moving forward, we're moving to a mobile workforce. We were so unprepared when the pandemic started. Everybody was working at home. One day we're all, working in the office. The next day we were all working home. We did not have computers. In fact, we just got our first amount of computers, laptops that we can give to our staff. So that happened yesterday. So we're working on that. So we can continue to work remotely because we have been working remotely. We're engaging in remote team building activities, so staff will be engaged, and we're creating online training, and we're meeting monthly with managers. So how does that help you guys here, and how does it help us with other states? What this does for us is if my staff is happy and they understand what the purpose is, then when you ask something and when you need something, then they will understand the importance of getting an answer to you, making sure that you're responded to, and making sure that you get what you need. And if you don't, you can call me. Thanks. That's all I have from Illinois.
Thanks, Irene. And we're moving on to Oklahoma.
Hello, this is Al Pavat in Oklahoma, and I'm a programs field representative for the Oklahoma Department of Human Services, Child Support Services. A programs field representative is kind of a fancy name for a trainer in Oklahoma. I work for the state office, but I did work in the field offices for several years. Some interesting facts about Oklahoma, and these are interesting facts that I wasn't even aware of, but I guess we invented the shopping cart and we invented voicemail. So that's all new to me too. I want to talk a little bit about our 4D agency, the Oklahoma Department of Human Services, and our relationships with the tribal offices that are also located in Oklahoma. So next slide, please. Oklahoma has 11 total 4D agencies, 1 state, which is the Oklahoma Department of Human Services, which I work for, and 10 tribal 4D programs. Our tribal 4D programs, in no particular order, are the Kaw Nation, the Kickapoo Tribe of Oklahoma, the Chickasaw Nation, the Osage Nation, the Cherokee Nation, the Comanche Nation, the Delaware Tribe, the Modoc Tribe of Oklahoma, and the Muskogee Creek Nation, and the Ponca Tribe of Oklahoma. And within those tribes, Oklahoma is participating with 4 of those tribal programs in case data and state benefit information exchange as part of the Office of Child Support Enforcement grant to improve intergovernmental processes. And basically what that means is we can rely on those tribal agencies. They will collect unreimbursed assistance, other state benefits, cash medical arrears for Medicaid, and they will forward that to the state of Oklahoma. And Oklahoma partners with 3 and soon to be 4 4D programs, tribal programs for federal and state tax offset. And 4 tribal 4D programs use our state computer system, and they automatically participate in those tax refund offsets. And so our best practice that I wanted to share is our State 40 program centralized all of our intergovernmental cases with Tribal 40 programs into one state office unit. And of course, that has increased our consistency in our intergovernmental actions, because what was happening is in our field offices, a lot of field offices there was some confusion in how to interact with tribal programs, and there was some confusion about what tribal programs offered, and so it's helped a lot to centralize all of that. And that's it from Oklahoma. It's tornado season here, and so if you see me jump up and run later, I'm headed for the cellar.
All right, thank you, Oklahoma. Appreciate it. All right, so next we have Nevada. I can't wait to visit Vegas again pretty soon, so take it away.
Good morning or good afternoon. My name is Christine Wolf, and I am a licensed master social worker in the state of Nevada for 9 years. I've been employed with Clark County District Attorney Family Support Office for 5 years. You're probably wondering, what does a social worker do in child support? How is social work relevant, and what is their role? My goal for this mini session is to give you a little bit of insight on how social work can benefit customers in child support, especially in times of a pandemic. As child support professionals, we have an obligation to enforce, collect, and help support children and families in our communities, regardless of what comes across our desk. In a perfect world, non-custodial parents will pay their support with no problems. This would make all of our jobs easier, but we know that this may not necessarily be the case. Next slide, please. On this slide, you see a picture of an iceberg. Above the water, we only see the tip of the iceberg, which is seen from the outside and is visible to others. But underneath the water is a much larger part of the iceberg that is not seen. The iceberg is a good representation that someone may look okay from what we all perceive, but they may have deeper struggles and hardships that are hidden. Not all disabilities are visible. So what do you do when a non-custodial parent comes forward and says that they are homeless, living on the streets, suffering from multiple mental health and substance abuse issues, and state they have no income and have lost all hope? Or an NCP who recently experienced a stroke, who lost their ability to talk, walk, complete daily functions, and has no income to pay. These are only a couple of examples of hundreds of cases I have come across my time at DAFS. What would you do in these scenarios, and how do you get the most difficult cases to pay? Before there was a social worker in DAFS, many of these cases would go to court. The NCP would not cooperate and end up going to jail. This was an endless cycle. How can we move these cases forward? Next slide, please. That is where a social worker comes into play. If an NCP discloses to any child support worker, attorney, hearing master, or investigator that they are experiencing mental health, medical issues, and/or homelessness, they will refer to the social work team. We reach out to the NCP and provide whatever assistance may be needed. When I meet with a non-custodial parent, I complete an in-depth psychosocial assessment that allows me to gather NCP's background information while understanding what is going on in their current situation. I then create an intervention plan for every case with the goal to assist with pursuing Social Security Disability Income, or SSDI, and Supplemental Security Income, or SSI, in hopes of obtaining a SSDI approval and garnishment. We assist with SSDI auxiliary benefits for the children, or obtain closures for unenforceable cases based on medical documentation or SSI approval. All cases require ongoing assessment, gathering medical records, connecting NCPs to community resources or medical care, Social Security advocacy, and follow-up. Next slide, please. As you all know, we are living in pandemic times. COVID-19 has made people lose their jobs, lose their family members, lose their homes, and lose any support they may have had. COVID-19 has triggered mental health issues with feelings of hopelessness, social withdrawal, loneliness, and despair. The crisis intervention situations have risen since March 2020. I've gotten my fair share of phone calls from NCPs who have threatened suicide because they felt like they had nothing to live for. For example, I had a customer who was upset because their stimulus money was taken. They were homeless on the streets, had no financial or family support while dealing with their mental health issues. They told me that they felt like no one cared and threatened suicide. But with compassion, empathy, and listening, I was able to de-escalate the situation where the NCP was receptive to what I had to say and what I could do to help them with their case and provide community resources. I recently received an update from this customer who stated that they were staying in a hotel that was being provided by a local community resource and was waiting on an apartment in hopes of receiving permanent housing. This customer stated it was a dream come true. Next slide, please. Robert Dewar, president of American Enterprise Institute and former commissioner of social services in New York City, wrote an article about how money alone won't solve the multifaceted problems that individuals and families experience in living poverty. Mr. Dewar's article focuses on the new Washington Child Allowance, and he expresses that even though it provides money, it won't be enough. Mr. Dewar stated that connection with a social worker, either through government or nonprofit or faith-based institution, often leads to the successful diagnosis of important issues in the household. He continued to state that the reality is that a social worker's work engages with individuals and encourages them to seek employment, support their families, and improve their lives. Mr. Dewar's statement is true. Through my interaction with NCPs, I have turned the most difficult and non-paying cases into paying cases, even the ones who've never paid in years. When they have a little bit of support and encouragement, that can go a long way. Next slide, please. I look forward to future opportunities to be able to discuss more in depth of what I do as a social worker at DAFS and how social work can be an important piece in the child support realm. So I leave you with 2 quotes. Be someone's light when you are hopeless, and stay calm and let a social worker handle it. If you have any questions or would like information about our social work program, please feel free to reach out to me by email. I would love to share any insight on what we do here at DAFS. Thank you.
Christine, do you offer services for the clients as well, or just for non-custodial parents?
We usually just focus on non-custodial parents. However, if there's a crisis intervention that comes up for the custodial parent, any kind of situation like domestic violence or like they have suicidal thoughts or anything like that, we will talk to them.
Okay. There was some additional questions, and those will be answered at a later time. And we're moving on to Iowa.
Hi, I'm Nancy Lund. I'm a case manager in the Intergovernmental Enforcement Action in the great state of Iowa, and I'm sharing with all of you a big Iowa wave. I hope you'll take a minute to look at the information that I provided on the best tradition in college football. That little girl is a critically ill patient at the Stead Children's Hospital, which happens to be right in the back of Kinnick Stadium, the home of the University of Iowa Hawkeye football program. And ESPN voted the Iowa Wave the best tradition in college football because at the end of the first quarter of every Hawkeye game, everybody in the stadium turns around and waves at the kids up in the hospital, and they wave back. So next time you see a friend or a patient or anyone, give them a big Iowa wave. COVID turned us around this year. It turned everybody around this year. Shortly before the COVID-19 crisis hit, Iowa had implemented a program called PX4C squared for our enforcement officers. We're big fans of our acronyms, but it stands for Promoting Positivity, Projecting Positivity, Promotes Positivity, and Cultural Change. What this project is turning our case managers into frogs and giraffes. Frogs to make the leap of faith, and giraffes to stick your neck out and communicate with our non-custodial parents to increase our collections and foster a relationship with each other. What we do is work a database report that's provided every month to us that's specifically sorted to pick out payors who will be most projected and most, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought, I'm trying to speak fast, most receptive to outreach. We want them to know that we thank them for making their payments. We ask them if there's anything we can do for them. And we also ask them if there's things that we as an agency can do better. We make sure that we focus on being present, empathetic, non-judgmental, encouraging, and curious during the calls that we make to our non-custodial parents. We try to keep our focus on the payor. We want to know what we can do for them because we know that by doing that, we can help them do better for their children. Results? Yeah, we've had some. In fact, the average caseworker has seen an increase in $25 a month in payments on payors who are included in the PXC4 squared project. So just because we've all been isolated doesn't mean we couldn't all in Iowa work together to make it a better situation for our payors.
Awesome. Thank you, Nancy. And what were the 4 Ps?
Oh, sure, after I muted myself. It's PX4C squared. So it's projecting positivity, promotes positivity, and cultural change. Only the C squared.
Thank you, Nancy. Appreciate it. All right. So we have 2 more states to go here. And next up is Michigan.
Hi, I'm Liz West. I am from wonderful Michigan. And our little fun fact is that we have the only floating post office in the United States. It goes between Canada and the Detroit area under the Ambassador Bridge. We can go to our next slide. I'm going to go through this kind of quick, and I apologize if it's super fast. So as you can see on our highlighted map with Michigan State Bird, the construction barrel, we have our top 5 state interactions, the states that we work with the most on intergovernmental cases. 5.5% of our caseload are intergov cases. Those 5 states are Florida, Ohio, Texas, Indiana, and Tennessee. Tennessee, welcome to our top 5. Go ahead to the next slide. For international cases, though, we're a little different in that we have, we work with the Hague cases, of course. We work with the Hague, lost my train of thought. Sorry about that. Hague, we have our federal reciprocating states, which are primarily Canada at the moment. We do a lot of reciprocity work, which is with Mexico. They're one of our top 5 nations we work with. And then we also have a state reciprocal agreement with Quebec. So we're hoping and waiting for them to get on to Hague so we can throw that agreement aside and go with them on Hague. But until then, we can work with our neighbor to the north. Go to our next slide. So teamwork makes the dream work is the theme I picked. And this is a small slide, I apologize. But we as in the intergov world in Michigan were ready to go live and when COVID hit. We were ready to go remote, and we attribute a lot of that to our cooperation between our program. So in our program, we have the judicial end, which is where I'm from. And then we have our 4D agency. And then our child support workers are county court employees as well, for the most part. Then there's some that are state employees through 4D. And my contact info, I just saw that question pop up. It's up here in my slide in the corner, and it'll be at the end too. But sorry, so one of the things we implemented about 6 years ago is called a Google group. So we have an online message board that all of our caseworkers and interstate specialists can access. They have to contact me or one of our other site managers, prove that they are coming from a county address. So they send us a request from their county address, and we add them to this secret group where they can search the queue using Google for past questions that were answered. They might have a similar situation. It's also where we share all of our updates we get from other states or even other countries. There's training notices published there. All of our intergovernmental data and everything is on that Google group. We have I'm going to say just about 300 members now, and they span all 83 of our counties, and then our 4D program and our court staff as well. Okay, next one. So this is just a quick overview. One of the special things we have is that our state has a special plan for escalating intergovernmental cases. I'm going to actually skip a lot of this slide. We're one of the only states apparently that has a dedicated escalation process that requires our caseworkers to log everything in our support system, MISIS, before they escalate it. And the big issue or the big surrounding theme with that is work with the other county, work with the other offices before it goes anywhere else. Next slide. A couple tips of working with Michigan is highlighted by Apples because we're the #3 apple producer in the nation. Is our ICR contact person is Jennifer Reed. She's our troubleshooter in our ICR, and her email address is there. And she's also the person who answers our general email address. We have 83 different counties, which means every county is going to do something different. And in all of those counties, we have judges, and all of those judges do something different. The order follows the child in Michigan, so we don't need a new 4D case from a state if a child goes into foster care. We will just redirect per your directions. Overpayment of support is an issue we're researching at the moment. Our state statute says we can only hold 1 month's extra support obligation. Otherwise, if we get over that and the state is allowing a payer to pay support in advance, the money gets refunded back to the payer, not to the other state. So we're finding that we have situations where the other state, who's the record keeper is getting, if they have a certain amount that's showing that's different on their arrears amount than we have, and it's because we refunded that money back and didn't credit it to the account. We're in the process of trying to fix that up. Michigan statute allows for parenting time to be established as long as we have jurisdiction to do so, and we can use 4D funding for part of that. We are one of a handful of states that have that in our state statute. And then we also don't charge interest on our support, and our system doesn't allow for other states' interest to be added. So if you're an interest-bearing state, please be patient with us because our caseworkers are learning math and have to do all of that calculation manually. However, the court could choose in Michigan to order what's a surcharge or interest if there's an amount on arrears, if they use that as an enforcement tool. It's very rarely used. Next slide. The number one question we get from other states is, how do I reach someone at Wayne County? So I wanted to point this out, that Wayne County is in that little bottom of the thumb. They have 177,751 4D cases. They represent just under 25% of our state's caseload. The bar graph here, I know it's small, but Wayne County is the one on the far end. Wayne County staff handles more cases in that county than 24 other states' entire caseloads. That being said, Wayne County is doing the best they can. They are experiencing a lot of turnover, especially with COVID. They were one of the big areas in Michigan to get hit. And that being said, they do have some restructuring going on with their intergovernmental team. Janae Anderson, who has presented with ERICSA before with me and on another topic a year before that, is their senior staff attorney and the one who supervises their intergovernmental team. She said if there's anything that needs to be escalated, please feel free to reach out to her directly at janae.anderson@3rdcc.org, or you can email me and I'll get it over to Janae. Next slide. And that's it. Thanks. And this last slide has the critical contact information for us. There's my information, Sheila and Lynn from the Office of Child Support, our 4D agency, our policy team for intergovernmental, and Jennifer Reed again, because she's our troubleshooter and we love her and we'll never let her leave the state. Thank you.
Moving on out of Michigan, we are moving into our last state of New Mexico.
Hello, this is Julie Garud. I'm with the New Mexico Child Support Central Registry. You see our state question there is the chilies is New Mexico's favorite fruit. The state question is red or green. The best answer, I think, is Christmas. That means you get both. So I'm going to talk, we've got a little bit of thunder rolling in. I missed Oklahoma's presentation due to some hail, but if it gets loud and noisy, I'm sorry. So I'm talking about New Mexico has the Navajo Nation. It straddles the Four Corners area. They do have their own program, but excuse me. The Navajo Nation is, sorry, Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico. And the bulk of the land of the nation is in Arizona and New Mexico. They do have their own child support programs. They have offices in Arizona and in New Mexico. Their Arizona offices include the Central Administration Office in Window Rock and agency offices for Chinle, Tuba City, and Fort Defiance. The Shiprock and Crown Point agencies are in New Mexico. The Navajo Nation contracts with the state of New Mexico for our state disbursement unit and central registry services, as well as the use of the New Mexico Child Support computer system for their two New Mexico agencies. The agencies located in Arizona have the same type of agreement with the state of Arizona. The Shiprock and Crown Point agencies are in New Mexico's McKinley and San Juan counties. The member's address, where they live, especially the obligated parent, it depends on where they live, because part of McKinley and San Juan counties are handled by the state of New Mexico's program, in part by the Navajo Nation. So where they're located, their zip code drives where the case gets assigned. So if you have an intergovernmental case for a non-custodial parent in the Shiprock and McKinley County areas, you would initiate to New Mexico, and then we would send our central registry. We would send the case to either the San Juan McKinley Child Support Agency for New Mexico or to the intergovernmental agency portion in the Navajo Nation. So some of the tribes and pueblos in New Mexico have their own child support programs, is the Mescalero Apache and the Zuni Pueblo. And if you have requests for a non-custodial parent that lives or is a member of one of those tribes, you would actually initiate directly to Zuni Pueblo or Mescalero Apache. There's several pueblos here. Some have reciprocal agreements with our state, and we would work with those pueblos. You would initiate to New Mexico for the child support program, and our child support agencies will work with those pueblos. Sometimes members of pueblos they don't cooperate with the state, but we will do our best to work with them. Sorry, we're getting some thunder here. Hold on a second. Sorry about that, folks. The tribes and pueblos do not have access to the OCSE's child support portal or the electronic document exchange. So I do receive some electronic documents from other states. What we do is we actually print those out and we will mail them to the Navajo Nation. So if you don't get an EDE response, look for a written response. And as Jenna Scandera pointed out in hers, communication is key. You know, if you can't reach somebody on the nation, please give me a call. I will do my best to get you connected up. But right now, the Navajo Nation is all working from home due to the pandemic. And there's very rarely do they have someone in the offices, and they have a lot of internet connection issues. So we try to be as accommodating as we can with them. With that, thank you, everybody. Be safe and healthy and have a great rest of your day.
All right, thank you, Julie, very much. And all our presenters, very great information. And now we'll hand it over to Sabrina.
Okay, everybody, I hope you guys listened so intensely to all of those great presentations, because here is your trivia. I want everybody to, before you hit enter, put your answer into the chat. And when I say go, I want you to hit enter, all right? So here is your first question. What was the IJ Fair's theme on the opening slide? Put your answers in. Oh, you guys are going too fast. Go. You guys are awesome. Next slide. Whole new world. You guys are rocking it. All right, next question. What state was the first U.S. state to elect a woman to Congress in 1916 and reelected her in 1940? Dang, you guys are, Montana, is that the right answer? Next slide. Montana, woo! All right, next question. Are you guys ready? This state is called a silver state, but produces more gold than any other state in America. Oh my goodness, you guys are totally listening. Next slide. Nevada wins. Next slide. The inventor of a voicemail was from this state. I see a lot of Oklahoma. Is that right? Next slide. Whoop, you guys got it. Okay, next slide. I think let's one or two more questions. What other state besides Michigan has a floating post office? None. I've seen a lot of none. Next slide. That's right. It was a trick question. Michigan's the only place in the world with a floating post office. Next question. The state vegetable is chili, and their state question is red or green. New Mexico. Next slide. That is my home state. You guys rocked it. I'm going to turn it over to Susie. Great job, everybody, for listening to all those fun facts.
Thank you so much, Sabrina. Thank you, everyone. We hope that you enjoyed our first WCSIC-ARICSA joint mini IJ Fair. Thank you again to our sponsor, Cortland Consulting. Thank you to the WCSIC and ARICSA IJ Fair committee members. This is not an easy thing to put together, and you all have done a great job. And most importantly, thank you to all of the amazing ambassadors presenting today that are willing to share information to help children and families across the nation. Like I said in our IJ Fair, it doesn't matter where we feed a child, it just matters that a child is fed somewhere. It doesn't matter what state. What about your agency? Do you want to be a future ambassador? Highlight your state. We have 2 more sessions coming up. We have one on July 28th, one on October 27th. If you are interested in presenting and representing your agency, reach out to myself, Sabrina, or Tammy, express your interest. We are also looking forward to the WCSIC virtual conference coming up in September, where we will have a mass IJ Fair networking event and change it up a little bit. And finally, take the pledge. The pledge will be displayed at the end of this slideshow. We will send out an email to everyone showing them how they can take the pledge and join more than 1,000 child support professionals throughout the nation willing to share their direct contact information and experience the benefits of being part of that mass child support list. You all know how important it is to have contacts in other states that are willing to talk to you. We are short on time, so I just want Veronica to finish up the PowerPoint. And thank you, everybody, very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
And of course, my music is frozen and I can't get it to play. Susie, you want to sing
It should be.
out?
It should be. This is our fight song, because that's a song that I picked out for this. That is what should be playing. So sing that to your heads.
Be proud, be driven, stay focused, stay positive, stay safe, and be well. That's nice, Susie. Thank you.
And always, always remember why. The kids. And here's the pledge. You guys look forward to the email where you can take the pledge and receive the contact list and share your information. Thank you, everyone.